All right, get ready to dive deep because today it's all about Jerez.
Ooh, ways.
Yeah, we've got a ton of excerpts here covering like everything
Nice.
from the soil and grapes to this crazy thing called the Solera system.
Oh, the Solera system. Yeah.
It's going to blow your mind. It's not just what's in the glass. We're talking history, food pairings that'll totally surprise you, and even like a peek into the future of this whole region.
The future of Jerez. Interesting.
Get ready for some serious aha moments, folks.
You know what I find so fascinating about Jerez is it's more than just a wine.
Right.
It's a whole region in Andalusia, Spain.
Wow.
With a history that goes back like thousands of years. It's like stepping back in time.
I'm talking 3,000 years, like Phoenicians, Romans.
Yeah.
You know, they were probably sipping on some early version of this stuff.
Wow.
It's crazy to think about that kind of legacy.
That's a long time.
And speaking of legacy, these excerpts talk about this magic triangle of towns.
Okay.
So it's Jerez de la Frontera, Sanlúcar de Barrameda, and El Puerto de Santa Maria.
Ah, the triangle.
Each with its own like unique role to play in the whole Jerez story.
Each one's got its own thing.
Yeah.
And it all starts with the terroir.
Oh, yeah.
That combo of climate, soil, geography, the magic.
Okay, so you've probably heard of Albariza soil.
Yeah, Albert.
It's like that white chalky stuff that Jerez is famous for. But these excerpts, they really emphasize how crucial it is.
Yeah.
Like it's the perfect moisture regulator in this like otherwise scorching region.
Right.
Can you imagine like trying to grow delicate grapes without it?
No way.
Disaster.
Absolutely. Albariz is like a sponge
Oh, okay.
soaking up the moisture during those hot Andalusian summers.
Yeah.
But then it also drains well, so the vines don't drown.
Oh, okay.
It's like nature's balancing act.
It's perfect.
Yeah.
And then you've got the Atlantic Ocean breezes
Oh, yeah.
sweeping in, creating that veil of flora.
Solar, yes.
It's that layer of yeast that's like vital for some of the drier styles, right? That veil, it's not just some like technical term. It actually adds to that subtle like sea air aroma you get in some finos.
Ah, okay.
Wild to think about the ocean's influence,
Yeah.
like all the way down to, the microscopic level.
I know, it's crazy how these environmental factors, they really shape the wine.
Yeah.
And speaking of shaping the wine, we can't forget about the grapes.
The grapes.
Yeah.
Palomino Fino.
Calomino Fino.
That's the superstar.
Res Star.
It makes up like, what, 90% of the vineyards?
Yeah, about that.
It's incredibly versatile, adaptable, perfect for Jerez's unique climate.
It's the perfect grape,
Yeah.
but it's not a one grape show. We also have Pedro Ximénez
Oh, yeah, PX.
and Moscatel de Alexandria. They add their own thing,
Yeah.
PX grapes, they're basically like sun-dried raisins.
Oh, wow.
Before they even become wine, that's why the sweet styles, they're so intense.
Oh, okay.
And then you have Moscatel bringing in like the floral and citrus notes.
Okay.
So many flavors waiting to be explored.
Okay, but here's where things get really interesting.
Okay, tell me.
We got to talk about the Solera system.
Solera, here we go.
So you might be wondering, how does all this history, this terroir, actually like translate into the taste of Jerez?
Good question.
Well, get ready, because the Solera system, it's where it all comes together.
Yeah, it is.
It's basically like a pyramid of barrels
A pyramid, woo.
with the oldest wines at the bottom, called a Solera.
Right.
And then you got younger wines layered above, and those are called criaderas.
The criaderas.
And here's what's like mind-blowing about it.
What?
When they draw wine from the Solera to bottle it, they top it up with wine from the criader above it.
Okay.
And that criader gets topped up from the one above it, and so on. It's a constant, like, cascade of wine,
Wow, a cascade.
blending the old and the new.
That's amazing.
Can you believe some of that wine at the bottom in the Solera could be older than our grandparents?
Oh, wow.
Like a time capsule in a bottle.
Really is, yeah. And because of this system, Jerez doesn't have a traditional vintage.
Right.
It's more like a multi-generational blend that's like constantly evolving.
That's great.
Makes you question time in winemaking.
It really does.
Yeah.
So what does this all mean for the actual, like, taste of Jerez?
Good question.
Well, hold on to your hats, folks, because we're about to dive into the amazing world of Jerez styles.
There are so many.
And believe me, it's a spectrum unlike anything you've ever seen.
Yeah.
From the bone-dry finos to the rich and, like, luscious olorosos.
Mm-hmm.
There's a Jerez out there for everyone, I'm telling you.
Everyone.
Okay, let's start with the driest of the dry.
Okay.
The ones aged entirely under that veil of flora. So we're talking Fino and Manzanilla.
Fino. The classic.
Yeah, what's that like?
pale, delicate notes of almonds, green apples, and that unmistakable hint of the sea from the floor.
Okay.
It's like a refreshing ocean breeze in a glass.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then there's Manzanilla.
Manzanilla.
It's like Fino's close cousin,
Yeah.
but made exclusively in San Lucar de Barrameda.
Right.
So it's even more influenced by the sea, right?
Oh, yeah. If Fino's like, a whisper of the ocean.
Okay.
Manzanilla is a full-on salty sea spray.
Wow.
It's phenomenal with seafood.
Okay, like what?
Fresh oysters, maybe some grilled prawns.
It sounds delicious.
Yeah.
Okay, so what happens when you, like, move away from that floor influence?
That's when things get really interesting.
Okay.
We enter the realm of oxidative aging,
Oxidative aging, okay.
where the wine is exposed to air. That's how you get the nutty, complex flavors.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's where, like, Amontillado and Oloroso come in.
Exactly.
Okay, so tell me about those.
Amontillado is kind of like a bridge between the two worlds.
Okay.
It starts out under floor, but then that veil breaks down.
Okay.
And it gets some of that oxidative character.
It's kind of like a mix.
Yeah, like hazelnuts, maybe some toasted bread, a hint of caramel even.
Oh, wow, that sounds delicious.
It's complex, yeah.
And Oloroso, that's the one that's, like, aged entirely oxidatively.
That's the big one. Oloroso's full-bodied, rich, intense. You get those deep, nutty flavors, dried fruits, maybe even a touch of leather.
Leather, wow.
Yeah,
It's a wine to, like, really savor.
definitely.
Okay, so we've got delicate and salty, nutty and complex, rich and intense.
Mm-hmm.
Where does this, like, mysterious Palo Cortado fit in?
Oh, Palo Cortado.
The excerpts describe it as, like, starting like Fino, but then developing like Oloroso.
It's kind of a happy accident.
What?
Yeah, Palo Cortado is definitely the wild card of the Jerez family.
Okay.
It's this rare style. Starts out under floor, but then, for reasons people still debate,
Yeah.
the veil breaks down and it takes on that Oloroso-like personality.
So it changes.
It does. It's like it can't decide which way to go.
Wow.
And then it ends up with this amazing combo of like finesse and power.
Oh, wow.
That
So it's
guy.
kind of like the rebel of the bunch.
You could say that, yeah.
And then, of course, we can't forget about the sweet styles.
Oh, the sweet stuff.
Yeah, so we got Pedro Ximenez, PX, Moscatel, and Cream.
Yes, the sweet temptations.
What are those like?
PX is like liquid Christmas cake.
Oh, okay.
Full of those intense dried fruit and toffee notes.
That's intense.
It is. Moscatel's a bit lighter with those floral and citrusy sweetness.
Yeah.
Then you have Cream, kind of the smooth operator.
Okay.
Blends different styles for a more mellow sweetness.
Okay, so we've got a pretty good handle on the styles.
Yeah.
But what about food pairings?
Ah, yes.
One of the most surprising things I read was the suggestion to pair Fino with sushi.
Really?
I mean, who would have thought?
I know, it sounds weird, but it works.
Does it really?
Yeah, the crispness and salinity of Fino, it cuts through the richness of the fish.
Oh, okay.
And then those almond notes complement the delicate flavors of the sushi rice.
Interesting. Have you ever tried that pairing?
I have. It's amazing.
Wow, I'm going to have to try that.
You should.
What about those richer styles, like Amontillado and Oloroso?
Yeah.
What kind of, like, culinary adventures can they take us on?
Well, Amontillado, with that nutty complexity,
Yeah.
it's surprisingly good with spicy food.
Really?
Yeah, think like Thai curries or even some Indian dishes.
Oh, wow, that's interesting.
And then Oloroso, with all that intensity,
yeah.
it can stand up to rich, savory flavors.
Okay, like what?
Like blue cheese, game meats, even like a decadent chocolate dessert.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it seems like Jerez can handle, like, pretty much anything you throw at it.
That's the beauty of it.
Really?
It's a wine that encourages you to be adventurous and explore new tastes.
I like that.
But, beyond just the wine itself, there's a whole world of Jerez out there waiting to be discovered.
There is.
Yeah.
A world of history, culture, traditions,
All of it, yeah.
You're talking about Jerez as a, like, travel destination, right?
I am.
The excerpts mention bodega tours, wine museums,
Right.
even, like, vibrant festivals.
Oh, yeah.
Imagine walking through those historic bodegas, seeing the Solaris system in action, really, like, immersing yourself
It's amazing.
in the world of Jerez.
It really is, yeah. It's a chance to experience firsthand the passion and dedication that goes into making these wines.
Yeah.
And in the region itself, it's stunning.
Oh, wow.
Rolling hills, whitewashed villages, and like the sea is always there.
Oh, wow.
It's a sensory feast.
It's not just about the wine then. It's like the whole experience.
It's everything, yeah. It's about immersing yourself in the culture, the history, the landscape, understanding what makes Jerez so unique.
Absolutely.
But of course, like any wine region, Jerez faces challenges, especially in a changing world.
You're talking about like climate change, right?
Yeah.
How's this unique region adapting to, the challenges of a warming planet?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
It's a big one, and it's one that we'll delve into in the next part of our deep dive. We'll explore how Jerez producers are innovating and adapting, to ensure the future of this treasured wine. But for now, let's just, let everything sink in.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
All right. Welcome back to our deep dive into Jerez.
It's amazing to think about like how much history and tradition goes into every bottle,
You're right. You're absolutely right. And, when we talk about tradition, we can't ignore the elephant in the room.
Oh, okay.
Or I guess the warming planet in the vineyard.
Right.
Climate change, it's a huge challenge for wine regions everywhere. And Jerez is no exception.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking about. During the break,
Okay.
the excerpts mentioned like rising temperatures, unpredictable weather patterns.
Right.
It sounds like a recipe for disaster.
It's definitely a concern, yeah. But what's encouraging is that the Jerez producers, they're facing this head on.
Oh, okay.
With like a blend of innovation and respect for their heritage. They're experimenting with drought-resistant grapes, looking at ways to conserve water, even tweaking their winemaking, to adapt.
So it's like you're using both like ancient wisdom and cutting edge science to like navigate this uncharted territory.
Exactly. They're not just sitting back waiting for the worst to happen.
Right.
They're actively shaping the future of Jerez.
That's really cool.
It's inspiring.
It really is. But it's not just about the environment, right?
Right.
The excerpts also talk about like the challenge of appealing to a new generation of drinkers.
Oh, yeah. That's a big one.
How do you introduce a wine with such like a rich history to an audience that's like constantly bombarded with new trends and flavors?
I mean, that's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
It really is.
But I think Jerez has a secret weapon.
Oh.
It's versatility. This isn't just like your grandfather's after-dinner drink,
Right.
It can be enjoyed in so many different ways.
Okay.
With so many different cuisines.
It's like we were saying earlier about those unexpected food pairings.
Yeah.
Like Fino with sushi or Amontillado with spicy curries.
Right.
It totally breaks the mold of what people think of as wine pairing.
And that's what excites me about the future of Jerez.
Yeah.
There's so much potential to break down those stereotypes.
Right.
And introduce it to a whole new audience.
I like that.
Imagine like a younger generation discovering the magic of pairing a chilled manzanilla
Okay, yeah.
with tapas on a warm summer night.
Yeah, I could see that.
Or like sipping a rich oloroso alongside a gourmet burger.
Oh, wow.
It could happen.
It's like we need to rebrand Jerez as like the ultimate adventure wine.
I love that.
Right.
Because it really is an adventure.
It is.
Every sip is a journey.
Yeah.
Through history, tradition, innovation.
And speaking of journeys, let's take a little trip back in time.
Okay.
Delve deeper into the heart of Jerez.
Right.
That magic triangle of towns we talked about earlier.
Yeah.
Let's start with Jerez de la Frontera,
Okay.
the namesake of the wine itself.
The EOG.
What makes this town so special?
Well, imagine walking through cobblestone streets surrounded by these grand whitewashed bodegas.
Wow.
They look more like cathedrals than wineries.
Seriously.
Seriously. Jerez de la Frontera, it's where the magic happens,
Yeah.
It's steeped in history. The air is thick with the aroma of fermenting wine.
Oh, wow.
You hear the sounds of flamenco music drifting from the tapas bars.
That sounds amazing.
It is. It's magical.
And what about Sanlúcar de Barrameda?
Ah, Sanlúcar.
We know this is where Manzanilla comes from,
Right.
but what sets it apart from Jerez de la Frontera?
Sanlúcar de Barrameda, it's all about the sea.
Okay.
It's right on the Atlantic coast.
Yeah.
Those ocean breezes, they play a huge role in shaping the unique character of Manzanilla.
Oh, okay.
You can almost taste the salt air in every sip.
It's like the essence of the ocean.
Exactly, captured in a bottle.
And then we have a Puerto de Santa Maria,
Oh, Puerto de Santa Maria. Okay.
the third point of our magic triangle.
Yes.
This coastal town It's known for producing a wider range of styles,
Really?
including some of the sweeter variety.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's like the all-rounder of the Jerez towns.
You could say that, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It benefits from the moderating influence of the ocean, but it also has a slightly warmer climate than Sanlúcar de Barrameda,
Okay.
which allows for more diversity in the wines produced there.
So I'm starting to understand why Jerez is considered such a complex and fascinating wine region.
It really is. Yeah.
It's not just one thing.
Yep.
It's like a tapestry of, different terroirs, microclimates, traditions.
That's what makes it so captivating.
It really does.
You can spend a lifetime exploring the nuances of Jerez
Right.
and still discover something new with every bottle.
Speaking of nuances, let's revisit that incredible Solera system.
Oh, Solera.
We talked about, how it works.
Yeah.
But I'm curious to know more about, its impact on the flavor of the wine.
It's truly remarkable.
It is.
You see, the Solera system doesn't just blend different vintages. It blends different flavors, different personalities, even different eras of winemaking.
Oh, wow.
It's like a conversation between generations of winemakers, all contributing to the final masterpiece.
Wow, that's a beautiful way to put it.
It's pretty cool, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah.
It's mind-blowing to think that, a single sip of Jerez
Yeah.
could contain traces of wine that's, hundreds of years old.
I know, it's like drinking history.
It really is.
And that's what gives Jerez its unique complexity and depth.
Yeah.
It's not just a snapshot of one harvest. It's a culmination of centuries of tradition and expertise.
It almost makes you think about, the concept of time differently.
I know, right?
It's not linear.
No.
It's cyclical.
Yeah.
With the past, constantly informing the present.
And that's the beauty of tradition. It's not about, clinging to the past.
Okay.
It's about using the wisdom of the past to guide the future.
I like that.
And that's exactly what the Jerez producers are doing.
Yeah.
They're using the Solera system to make sure that the the unique character of their wines is preserved
Yeah.
for generations to come.
It's like a living legacy
Beautifully put.
passed down through the barrels.
And that legacy is something worth celebrating.
It is.
Which brings us to one of the most exciting aspects of Jerez.
Okay.
Its ability to elevate any dining experience.
I'm all for that.
Yeah.
I'm already imagining myself sitting at a tapas bar in Spain,
Oh, yeah.
sipping a chilled manzanilla
Yes.
alongside a plate of fresh seafood.
The classic pairing.
Right.
But Jerez is so much more versatile than that.
Right.
It can handle everything from delicate sushi
Yeah.
to spicy curries to rich, savory stews.
Wow. It's it is a superpower for adapting to any flavor profile.
It really does.
That's amazing.
Yeah. And the key is to think about the style of Jerez
Okay.
and the intensity of the dish. For example, a light and refreshing Finot,
Yeah.
perfect for cleansing the palate
Okay.
between bites of tapas,
Yeah.
while a nutty Amontillado
Yeah.
can stand up to the bold flavors of a Moroccan tagine.
Oh, wow. That's a good pairing.
It is.
And what about those rich, decadent olorosos?
No, yeah.
What kind of culinary adventures can they take us on?
Oloroso is the king of savory pairings.
Okay, like what?
Aged cheeses, roasted meats, anything with a deep umami flavor. It can even handle a touch of sweetness,
Oh, okay.
like a drizzle of honey or a side of fig jam.
Wow. I'm starting to see how Jerez can, completely transform a meal.
It can, yeah.
It's not just a drink.
It's an ingredient, a flavor enhancer, a conversation starter.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's what makes it so fun to explore. There are no hard and fast rules.
It's all about experimenting, finding those perfect combinations that make your taste buds sing.
I'm already feeling inspired to, get creative in the kitchen
Yeah.
and try some new Jerez pairings.
That's the spirit.
But before we get too carried away with our culinary fantasies,
Right.
there's one more crucial aspect of Jerez that we need to address.
Okay.
The styles themselves.
The style.
We've talked about them, broadly.
Yeah.
But now it's time to delve into the specifics.
All right.
To really understand what makes each one unique
Mm-hmm.
and how to appreciate its nuances.
That's important.
Okay. I'm ready for a crash course in Jerez styles.
Here we go.
Let's start at the beginning with the driest of the dry,
Okay.
Finot. What are the key characteristics that define this iconic style?
Well, imagine a wine that's pale,
Yeah.
almost translucent in color,
Okay.
with aromas that evoke the sea.
Okay.
Think like salty air, crushed seashells,
Yeah.
maybe even a hint of almond.
Okay.
That's Fino in a nutshell.
Okay.
It's all about freshness, delicacy, and that unmistakable tang from the floor.
And what about manzanilla?
Manzanilla.
How does it differ from its close cousin, Fino?
Manzanilla is like Fino's seaside sibling,
Oh, okay.
made in Sanlúcar de Barrameda, right on the coast.
Yeah.
And those ocean breezes, they really shine through in the flavor.
Okay.
You get even more of that salty, briny character,
Okay.
almost like licking a seashell.
Oh, wow. That's a vivid description.
It's incredibly refreshing.
Yeah.
Perfect for pairing with seafood.
I can already, taste the ocean in my mouth.
Can you?
Okay, so we've covered the dry floor-influenced styles.
Mm-hmm.
What happens when we, move into the realm of oxidative aging?
That's where things start to get richer and nuttier.
Okay.
We enter the world of Amontillado,
Amontillado, yeah.
where biological and oxidative aging, they combine to create a truly complex, intriguing wine. I remember you describing Amontillado as a bridge between the two worlds.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of flavors can we expect there?
Think toasted hazelnuts, dried apricots, maybe even a touch of caramel.
Okay.
Amontillado has this wonderful depth and complexity.
Yes.
With a long, savory finish. It lingers on the palate.
That sounds delicious.
It is.
And then, of course, we have the powerhouse of the Jerez family,
Oh, yeah.
Oloroso.
Oloroso.
This is a style that's aged entirely oxidatively,
Right.
resulting in a wine that's rich, intense, full of character.
Full of character, yeah.
I'm imagining flavors of walnuts, coffee, maybe even leather.
You're spot on.
Really?
Oloroso is a symphony of savory notes,
Wow.
with hints of dried fruit, spice, sometimes even a touch of smoke.
Smoke, wow.
It's a wine that demands attention.
Yeah.
It pairs beautifully with rich, hearty dishes.
Okay, so we've got delicate and salty, nutty and complex, and rich and intense. Where does that leave our mysterious friend, Palo Cortado?
Palo Cortado.
The enigma of Jerez.
The enigma, yes. It's this rare style that defies easy categorization.
Oh, okay.
Starts out under floor, but then, for reasons still debated, the veil breaks down.
Right, it's like it has a split personality.
It does.
A bit of Fino.
Yeah.
And a bit of Oloroso all rolled into one.
Exactly. It's a fascinating blend of elegance and power.
Wow, that's interesting.
Flavors range from dried fruit and nuts to spice and tobacco.
Wow.
Truly unique.
It's a unique wine for sure.
Yeah.
I'm starting to think we need a whole separate deep dive.
I know, right?
Just to explore the nuances of Palo Cortado.
Maybe we should.
But for now, let's wrap up our exploration of Jerez styles
All right.
with a taste of the sweet side.
Oh, yeah.
So I've got Pedro Santimenes, PX, Moscatel,
Moscatel,
and Cream.
and cream.
Each offering its own unique expression of sweetness.
Sweetness, yeah.
Okay, I'm ready for a sugar rush.
All right, here we go.
Let's start with the most decadent of them all, PX.
Yeah.
What makes this style so special?
PX is made from grapes that are dried in the sun,
Oh, wow.
concentrating their sugars to an incredible degree.
Wow.
The result is a wine that's thick, syrupy, and intensely sweet.
Yeah.
Flavors of raisins, figs, dates, and
It
molasses.
sounds like liquid dessert.
It is.
And what about Moscatel? How does its sweetness compare?
Moscatel is also sweet, but in a lighter, more floral style.
Okay.
It's got these beautiful aromas of orange blossom, honeysuckle, candied citrus,
Oh, wow.
with a delicate sweetness that's perfect for pairing with fruit tarts or light cakes.
That sounds lovely.
Yeah.
And finally, we have Cream,
Cream.
which, if I remember correctly, is a blend of different styles.
That's right. Cream is typically made by blending Oloroso or Amontillado
Okay.
with a sweet wine like PX.
So it's kind of like a mix of everything.
It is. It's got a smooth, velvety texture and a balanced sweetness
Okay.
that makes it incredibly versatile.
So you could drink it on its own
You could, yeah.
or with dessert.
Or even pair it with savory dishes,
Really?
like blue cheese, foie gras,
Wow. I'm amazed by like the sheer variety of flavors and styles
Me too, yeah.
Jerez has to offer. It's truly like a world unto itself.
It really is. And, the best way to appreciate Jerez is to experience it yourself.
Right.
Don't be afraid to experiment.
Okay.
Try different styles. Find those pairings that, make your taste buds sing.
I completely agree. But before we send our listeners off on their own Jerez adventures,
Yeah.
I think we need to equip them with some like essential tasting tips.
Tasting tips, okay.
How can we help them like get the most out of every sip?
That's a great idea. Let's dedicate, the final part of our deep dive to
Okay.
the art of tasting Jerez.
I like that.
We'll cover everything from visual cues to aroma profiles to palate sensations,
All right.
giving our listeners the tools they need to become, true Jerez connoisseurs.
Sounds like a perfect way to wrap up our exploration of this incredible wine. Stay tuned for the grand finale of our Jerez journey,
The grand finale.
where we'll unlock the secrets of tasting and appreciating this liquid treasure. Welcome back to the final part of our Jerez journey.
The grand finale.
It's amazing how much we've uncovered about this wine.
I know, right? It's a lot.
From the unique soil and climate
Yeah.
to that intricate Solera system.
The Solera system. Yep.
And of course, those incredible flavor profiles.
Oh, so many flavors.
But now it's time to put all that knowledge into practice
Practice. Okay.
and talk about how to actually taste Jerez.
The art of tasting.
Because believe me, there's an art to it.
There really is.
Okay, so imagine I've got a glass of Jerez in front of me.
Okay. Yeah.
Where do I even begin?
Well, like any good tasting experience, you start with your senses. Okay. First, just take a moment to observe the color.
The color. Okay.
Is it pale and straw-like
Okay.
or deep and amber?
Okay.
The color can give you clues about the style and age.
So a pale Fino would probably look very different from a rich Oloroso. Or...
Exactly.
Yeah.
The Finos and Manzanillas, they tend to be much lighter
Right.
because they're aged under that protective layer of floor.
Yeah, yeah.
While those oxidatively aged styles like Amontillado and Oloroso,
Yeah.
they develop those deeper amber hues over time.
Okay, so I've checked out the color.
Okay.
What's next? Do I just dive in and take a big gulp?
Not quite.
Okay.
Next step is all about the aroma.
Aroma. Okay.
Gently swirl the glass to release those volatile compounds,
Okay.
and then take a deep inhale.
Right.
What do you smell?
This is where I might need some help.
Yeah.
I'm not sure I'm sophisticated enough to pick out all those subtle nuances.
Don't worry, it takes practice.
Okay.
Just try to focus on the dominant aromas.
Dominant aromas. Okay.
Do you get hints of almonds, apples, yeast, maybe even a touch of that salty sea air we were talking about?
Oh yeah, the sea air.
Each style's going to have its own, unique aromatic profile.
So if I smell something briny and sea-like,
Yeah.
I might be dealing with a manzanilla.
You got it.
Okay.
And if you get those nutty oxidative notes,
Yeah.
you're probably sniffing an Amontillado or an Oloroso.
Wow, this is fascinating.
It is.
It's like being a detective, using my senses to unravel the mystery of the wine.
Exactly.
And now comes the best part, the taste.
The taste, yeah.
Take a small sip, let the wine coat your palate.
Let it linger.
Pay attention to the texture.
Okay.
Is it light and crisp
Mm-hmm.
or rich and oily?
Yeah, think about it.
What flavors do you detect?
Flavors, yeah.
Is it dry or sweet?
Okay.
Does it have a long lingering finish?
All important things to consider.
So it's about taking my time
Yeah.
and really experiencing the wine
Yeah.
in its entirety.
Absolutely. And don't be afraid to take notes.
Okay.
Either mentally or on paper. What stands out to you? What
Yeah.
surprises you?
Yeah.
Tasting is all about paying attention and, engaging with the wine
I like that.
on a deeper level.
Okay, I'm ready to put my tasting skills to the test.
Go for it.
But before we go, do you have any final words of wisdom
Oh, words of wisdom.
for our listeners who are embarking on their own Jerez adventures?
My advice is to be adventurous and curious.
Okay.
Don't be afraid to try different styles, experiment with food pairings, and most importantly, have fun.
Yeah.
Jerez is a wine that's meant to be enjoyed, shared, and savored.
Beautifully said.
Thank you.
And with that, I think we've reached the end of our Jerez deep dive.
The end. Wow.
We've covered a lot of ground.
We did.
From the history and production to the amazing variety of styles and flavors.
It's been a journey.
It really has.
Well, I hope our listeners are feeling inspired to explore
Yeah, I hope so too.
the world of Jerez for themselves.
So go forth and taste.
Yes, taste.
Discover your favorite styles, experiment with food pairings, and let your senses be your guide.
Let your senses guide you.
Cheers.
Cheers.